Now that we have completed our weekly review process, I wanted to take a few minutes and go over a feature in Roam called filters. And this feature, of course, can be used in a variety of different ways throughout your graph, but I happen to think that the productivity use case here that we're on now represents a really nice entry point. So let's go ahead and jump in and start talking about that. So the first thing I want to do is just clean up my view again a little bit. And I'm going to click on this X over here in the right sidebar to close that previous week's outline out. We don't need that in our view anymore. And then what I want to do is sort of set the stage or the context a little bit. So let's pretend that it's throughout the course of the week right now. Maybe it's the middle of the week. I'm pretty busy. And I have some time open up in my calendar and I want to jump into my planner and pick something to work on. Now, generally speaking, I like to schedule my week out ahead of time during the weekly review, but I don't schedule my week so tightly that everything is pre-regimented. And again, I'll have some white space on my calendar and some flexible time. And on occasion, I'm just jumping in here and looking at my list and trying to pick something to dive into. Filters are a great way to tag the different tasks on your planner and provide you with a nice way to filter based on those tags to make better decisions in the moment about what you want to jump into. So let me illustrate what that means for you. So number one, I want to go here to this task, email Cole to schedule the installation. Now, this is a task that's going to take me all of probably 2 minutes at most to complete. And so what I want to do is label this or tag this as a sort of quick hit. So what I'm going to do is type the hashtag symbol. And then I'm going to put a double brackets in there and type the words quick hit. Now, I do want to mention very quickly that this can confuse new users to Roam. You can see here that formatted the text here as this kind of lighter color. And if I click on that, you'll see that all it did was created a page reference to a page called quick hit. And if I go back here just to illustrate this, what I'll do is just right next to that, I'll put in the double brackets with quick hit without the hashtag there. And you'll see that if I click on this, it is doing the exact same thing. So this is purely an aesthetic consideration. I like to use the hashtag here at the end of the line just because it kind of makes it a little lighter and it fades it into the background a little bit more. So it's less visually prominent, which I like. But again, that is purely an aesthetic consideration. So this one is called a quick hit. Let's go through just two more examples to tag different types of tasks here. Down here at the bottom, this generate first version of report for Richard's sales analysis project. This is one that I know is going to take me some focus time. This is not going to happen in the 5 minutes between meetings. This is going to require me to sit down for an hour or two and really be uninterrupted and focused. So what I'm going to do here is put another hashtag. And this time I want to point out that I can actually skip the double brackets and I'll just type the word focus. Okay, and that does the same thing. Now, the reason I can skip the double brackets here is just because that's a single word simply. If I just put the hashtag there and then I didn't put the double brackets and I tried to type a space, then it would just recognize that first word as the page. So the only time if you're applying these tags and you want this lighter formatting style here to apply, the only time you need to use the double brackets like I did up here is if you have multiple words that you want to format like that. So anyways, down here, I have put the tag focus. And one more tag here that I want to apply is up here on this one, conduct final meeting with the training team. So here I'm going to put the hashtag symbol and I will write the word scheduled. This is one that I like to use periodically to indicate to myself that this is a task that has already been scheduled. There is already time set aside on the calendar to do this. So if, for example, I'm just looking for something to jump into because I had a meeting cancel and I had an hour open up on my calendar, I don't necessarily need to see things that are already scheduled because I know that I've already got time protected to jump into that. So I now have 3 different tags here, and let me show you how I use the filters feature to narrow down my list. So up here in the top right corner next to the search bar, you'll see the filter this page icon. And if I go ahead and click on that, and let's say again, let's go back to that example of I just had a small opening pop up in my calendar. I've got a little bit of time here and I want to jump into something that's going to require a bit of focus because I've got a nice solid hour here in my calendar to get something done. So in this search bar here, I can type the word focus and click on that. And what that's going to do is filter the page down to only show me blocks that have the tag focus contained in them. So that's a very simple example there. I can click on this again to remove that filter. And now let's say that I want to see things that are quick hits. I've got 5 minutes that opened up here and I want to just jump into something before my next meeting starts. So again, I'll type the word quick hit right there and that'll filter my page down. So a couple more quick examples here. If I click, sorry about that. If I click on the filter symbol again, let me remove that one. And let's show the inverse of this. So in the last two examples, I showed typing in a word and clicking enter so that it would filter down the page to show you blocks that included that word. Let's show the opposite. Let's say we don't want to see certain things. So let's say I don't want to see anything in my daily planner that has already been scheduled, because I know if I've got a time block set aside for it, then I don't need to see it right now in my planner. So in that case, I can type the word scheduled here, and then I can hold the shift key. So again, I'm holding shift and then I'll click on it, and you'll see that what that did is removed the entries from the page that contained that tag. So let me click here, and you'll notice when I remove this filter, the scheduled one is going to pop back onto the page down here or so. Okay. One other way that I like to use this sometimes is I will go ahead and remove everything that is up next. I know that dealing with that up next section is something that I'm going to do during my weekly review process. So during the course of the week while I'm working, I don't necessarily need to see that. Sorry, I keep clicking in the wrong place there. Click on this filter again here. And once again, I will type the words up next, hold down shift, click enter, and you'll notice that is going to remove all of the up next entries from my page. So again, those are a few different ways to use filters in your graph. You can you can really get creative with these. If I click on this and remove that, for example, if you wanted to, you could see only things related to a certain project. So maybe I wanted to see the ticketing app launch only. I could click on that. So lots of different ways that you can use the filtering function. One quick thing that I do want to mention is that this filter will actually disappear if you are on the main daily notes page. So right now, I'm not on the main daily notes page. I'm actually on the May 4th page, and you can tell that because if I scroll down, I can arrive at the bottom of the page here. If I click out here on the daily notes page, I want you to watch up here in the right corner here on this filter icon when I do that, and you'll notice that icon will disappear. So that icon went away. So the filter does not work when you're on the main daily notes page. And again, you can tell that you're on this page by scrolling down, and you'll be able to see all of your previous daily notes. So that was the last thing I wanted to mention there. Once again, filters are a really nice, flexible way to narrow down the results that you're seeing within your graph.